Retirement. The word conjures images of freedom, relaxation, and finally having all the time in the world to spend with the people you cherish. And for many, that means catching up with old friends, revisiting shared histories, and making up for lost time. It seems like the perfect plan, doesn't it? More free time equals more friend time. While nurturing friendships is absolutely vital at any age, especially after the structured social environment of work disappears, there's a potential trap many retirees fall into. The common assumption is that filling your newfound free hours by only increasing visits with your existing circle of friends is the guaranteed path to happiness. But what if, without realizing it, this seemingly positive behavior could actually be holding you back? What if visiting friends too often after retirement isn't just consuming your time, but is subtly hurting your ability to truly thrive in this new chapter? In this discussion, we're going to delve into 5 perhaps counterintuitive, yet powerful, reasons why you should reconsider the frequency of your friend visits after retirement. These aren't about abandoning your friends. They're about understanding how an imbalance in your social life can prevent you from fully embracing the opportunities and needs of retirement. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer perspective on how to structure your time for a more balanced, fulfilling, and personally enriching retirement. You'll learn how to maintain meaningful connections while also creating space for personal growth, new experiences, and independent well-being, ultimately leading to a retirement that feels truly yours. These insights are drawn from observations of common challenges faced by retirees and principles of creating a healthy and independent post-career life. Stay with me through all 5 points, because understanding the 5th reason is key to unlocking the full potential of your retirement years. Let's start with the first reason why visiting friends too often after retirement might be hurting you. The first powerful reason you might need to scale back on visiting friends too often after retirement is that it directly prevents you from discovering new passions, exploring untapped interests, and finding new purpose outside of your existing social identity. Retirement is often pitched as the time to finally do all the things you never had time for during your working years. This could mean picking up that long-abandoned hobby, learning a new language, volunteering for a cause you care about, writing that book, or exploring creative talents. These activities require not just free hours, but also dedicated blocks of time and mental energy. If your weekly schedule is predominantly filled with planning, traveling to, engaging in, and recovering from frequent visits with friends, you simply won't have the necessary space to explore these new avenues. Your identity has likely been tied to your career and perhaps family roles for decades. Retirement is a chance to discover who you are beyond those roles. This exploration requires solitude and focused effort, which constant socializing can easily displace. The hurt here isn't malicious. It's the unintentional stifling of your own potential for growth and the discovery of fulfilling activities that could give deep meaning to this new phase of life. You remain comfortably in your old social identity, preventing the emergence of a new, possibly more vibrant, retired self. Consider Mr. Peterson, who retired with a vague idea of learning woodworking, something he'd always been curious about. However, his work friends immediately established a routine of meeting for coffee every morning, followed by long lunches several times a week. Mr. Peterson enjoyed their company, but he found himself constantly checking his watch, realizing he had no substantial blocks of time left to go to the woodworking shop, buy materials, or even research techniques. The energy spent in constant social interaction, while pleasant, left him with little motivation for solitary, skill-building activities. He was filling his time, but not building a new life structure. He realized he was using social visits as a default activity rather than actively pursuing his own interests. It's like having a beautiful, empty canvas retirement and constantly having friends over to chat around it, leaving no time or focus to actually pick up the paintbrushes yourself. Look at your weekly calendar. Are there significant blocks of time specifically designated for exploring a potential new hobby, learning a skill, or working on a personal project? If not, intentionally schedule these in first. Treat these personal pursuits as non-negotiable appointments. Then, schedule social visits around them. This might mean reducing the frequency of spontaneous or routine visits with certain friends to create that essential space for self-discovery. The implication is profound. Carving out this dedicated personal time allows you to build a multifaceted retirement life, one that is richer and more personally satisfying than one solely defined by existing social connections. Creating space by reducing excessive friend visits is crucial for personal growth, enabling you to explore new passions, develop skills, and find a revitalized sense of purpose in retirement, leading to a more fulfilling life beyond old routines. Reason number 2 why visiting friends too often after retirement can be detrimental is that it makes it incredibly difficult to establish and maintain a healthy, independent daily routine that supports your overall well-being. One of the most significant adjustments in retirement is the loss of the structured workday. Filling that void with intentional activities is crucial for physical and mental health. A healthy retirement routine typically includes time for physical activity, balanced meals, cognitive stimulation, reading, puzzles, learning, managing household responsibilities, relaxation, and appropriate social engagement. If you are constantly visiting friends, your schedule becomes dictated by their availability, their preferred times, and the logistics of getting to and from their homes. This often disrupts consistency in other vital areas. Early morning coffee meetups might cut into time for exercise. Late lunches might derail healthy eating habits. Spending hours visiting might leave you too tired for errands or personal projects later in the day. The hurt is a lack of structure and consistency, which can lead to decreased productivity, neglect of self-care, feelings of being disorganized, and a sense that your time isn't truly your own, even in retirement. You risk replacing the external structure of work with the external structure imposed by others' social schedules. Consider Mrs. Davis, who had always planned to use her retirement for a consistent fitness routine and tackling home organization projects. However, her friends, also retired, started calling her at different times each day for spontaneous visits or suggesting long lunches that stretched into the afternoon. Mrs. Davis found herself constantly adjusting her plans to accommodate them. Her morning walks became erratic, her healthy meal planning went out the window when eating out frequently, and her home organization projects never got past the planning stage. She felt busy but unproductive and increasingly frustrated that she couldn't stick to her own goals. She realized her friends' social invitations, while lovely, were preventing her from building the independent structure she needed to feel in control of her retirement days. It's like trying to build a solid house foundation your routine while constantly having people drop by unexpectedly, forcing you to put down your tools and entertaining them, leaving your project unfinished. Identify the non-negotiable elements of your ideal daily or weekly routine, e.g. exercise time, meal times, dedicated time for a personal project, quiet time. Schedule these into your calendar first. When friends suggest visits, check your schedule and propose times that don't conflict with your established routine, or suggest activities that can be incorporated into your routine like a walking buddy instead of just sitting for coffee. The implication is that by prioritizing your own routine, you build a foundation of consistency and self-care that enhances your independence and allows you to manage your time effectively, leading to a more balanced and less stressful retirement life. By intentionally managing social visits, you create space and consistency to build a healthy, independent daily routine, which is fundamental for maintaining physical, mental, and emotional well-being in retirement. Are any of these points hitting home? If so, let me know in the comments below by typing "routine reset." And if you haven't already, Consider subscribing to the channel for more tips on making your retirement the best years yet. The third significant reason to reconsider visiting friends too often after retirement is the potential for it to cause undue financial strain or excessive physical energy drain. Retirement often means transitioning to a fixed income or relying on savings. While budgeting is essential, the costs associated with frequent socializing can accumulate unexpectedly. This includes the cost of transportation gas, public transport fares, eating out at restaurants or cafes, buying gifts or contributing to shared expenses, or even the subtle pressure to spend money on activities your friends enjoy. Similarly, even if the activities themselves aren't physically strenuous, the act of traveling, maintaining social energy for extended periods, and fitting visits into an already full or trying to be full day can be surprisingly tiring, especially as we age. If your calendar is overstuffed with visits, you might find yourself constantly feeling low on energy or watching your budget more closely than you'd like, specifically because of social obligations. The hurt here is the avoidable depletion of valuable and potentially limited resources, your retirement funds, and your physical vitality. Consider Mrs. Kim, who loved her circle of friends from her book club. After retirement, the book club evolved into a weekly lunch group that rotated restaurants across town. While she enjoyed the company, the cost of eating out every week, plus the gas to get to different locations, started to put a noticeable dent in her modest retirement budget. She felt guilty suggesting cheaper alternatives or fewer meetups. On top of the financial cost, some days the driving and socializing left her feeling exhausted for the rest of the afternoon. She realized the frequency and nature of these visits were becoming a financial and energy burden. It's like having a beautiful car to your retirement resources, but taking it out for unnecessary drives, excessive visits that slowly but surely deplete the fuel, money, and energy faster than you planned. Take an honest look at the financial and energy costs of your current social visiting habits. Explore more budget-friendly or less energy-intensive ways to connect with friends, e.g., meeting at a park with packed lunches, hosting simple coffee/tea at home, having shorter visits, suggesting walks instead of sedentary meetups. Don't feel obligated to say yes to every invitation or to spend money every time. It's okay to suggest alternatives that work better for your resources. The implication is that by being mindful of the cost and energy expenditure of your social life, you ensure that your friendships remain a source of joy and support, not a drain on your essential retirement resources. Mindfully managing the frequency and nature of friend visits helps protect your retirement finances and conserve your physical energy, ensuring your social life is sustainable and truly enhances your well-being rather than depleting it. Reason number 4 why visiting friends too often after retirement can be hurting you is the risk of fostering over-reliance and hindering the development of your emotional independence. Upon retiring, you might find yourself with more time alone than you're used to. It's natural to want to fill this time with company, and friends are a wonderful source of comfort and connection. However, if you solely rely on your friends to alleviate feelings of loneliness, boredom, or to process every thought and emotion you have, you might inadvertently prevent yourself from developing crucial emotional independence. This means the ability to be comfortable in your own company, to self-soothe when feeling down, to make decisions based on your own counsel, and to find contentment from within rather than constantly seeking external validation or distraction. Constantly needing to be with friends can become a way to avoid facing yourself or developing your inner resources. The hurt here is the potential for stunted emotional growth and a continued dependency on external company to feel complete or secure, rather than building a strong inner core in this phase of life where self-reliance often becomes increasingly important. Consider Mr. Evans, who had always been very social through work and hobbies. After retiring, he felt a deep void whenever he was alone. To combat this, he started calling and visiting his friends throughout the day, every day. He found it difficult to sit quietly, read, or pursue hobbies alone. He relied on his friends to entertain him and validate his feelings about everything from the news to minor daily annoyances. While his friends were supportive initially, his constant need for company started to feel burdensome, and Mr. Evans himself felt increasingly anxious when they weren't available. He hadn't cultivated the inner resources to be content alone, and his excessive visiting was preventing him from doing so. It's like constantly needing a crutch or friend's company because you haven't taken the time to strengthen your own leg muscles, your emotional independence. Intentionally carve out time each week to be alone and engage in activities you genuinely enjoy that don't require anyone else's participation, e.g., reading, listening to music, gardening, a solitary walk in nature, creative writing, meditation. Practice simply being with yourself and observing your thoughts and feelings without needing immediate external input. Learn to self-soothe when experiencing negative emotions instead of immediately reaching out for distraction. The implication is that by building comfort with solitude and strengthening your inner emotional world, you become more resilient, less dependent, and approach your friendships from a place of strength and choice, rather than neediness. Reducing over-reliance on friends by cultivating time alone fosters emotional independence, builds self-sufficiency, and allows you to enjoy friendships more genuinely from a place of inner strength and contentment. And finally, the fifth powerful reason why visiting friends too often after retirement might be hurting you is that it can significantly limit your opportunities to form new, stimulating connections and gain fresh perspectives. Your existing friends are familiar and comfortable, and the history you share is invaluable. However, retirement is also a period of potential reinvention and exposure to new experiences. Joining clubs, taking classes, volunteering, participating in community events, or even moving to a new area can expose you to entirely new groups of people with different backgrounds, interests, and perspectives. These new connections can be incredibly stimulating, bringing fresh ideas, introducing you to new activities, and broadening your understanding of the world. If your social calendar is packed with visits to your old circle, you won't have the time, energy, or perhaps even the motivation to seek out and nurture these new potential friendships. You risk becoming stagnant in your social life, limiting yourself to the same conversations and viewpoints. The hurt is the missed opportunity for intellectual stimulation, personal growth through exposure to diversity, and building a more expansive and dynamic social network that reflects the multidimensional possibilities of retirement. Consider Mrs. Lee, who retired and continued to spend almost all her social time with her close-knit group of former colleagues. Their conversations often revolved around reminiscing about work or discussing shared acquaintances. While she enjoyed their bond, she felt a growing sense of sameness. She was interested in learning about local history, but felt she never had time to attend meetings for the Historical Society because they often conflicted with her standing friend visits. When she finally made time for the society, she met people with passionate interests, learned fascinating new things, and formed new friendships that were different from her old ones, but equally rewarding, offering fresh topics of conversation and new shared activities. She realized her intense focus on her old social circle had unintentionally created a barrier to expanding her social horizons. It's like having a favorite restaurant you go to all the time, your existing friends, you love the food, but you miss out on experiencing all the other amazing cuisines and dining experiences available in the city. New connections and perspectives. Consciously allocate a portion of your social time budget to activities and groups where you are likely to meet new people with different interests, e.g., joining a club, taking a class, volunteering, attending lectures or workshops. Be open and approachable when in these new environments. Don't feel guilty saying, "Not this time," to a routine visit if it means you can attend an event where you might meet someone new or learn something different. The implication is that actively seeking out new connections keeps your mind stimulated, introduces you to new possibilities, and builds a more resilient and interesting social network for your retirement years. By diversifying your social time beyond frequent visits with existing friends, you open doors to new connections, fresh perspectives, and stimulating experiences that enrich your retirement life and prevent social stagnation. As we've explored through these 5 powerful reasons, the message is clear. While friendship is an invaluable treasure, an excessive focus on frequently visiting the same friends after retirement can inadvertently create challenges. We've seen how it can consume the time needed for personal discovery, hinder the development of a healthy routine, drain your financial and physical resources, potentially foster over-reliance, and limit exciting opportunities to form new, stimulating connections. This isn't about abandoning your cherished friends. Not at all. It's about recognizing that retirement is a unique phase of life, a golden opportunity to redefine your schedule, explore new facets of yourself, and build a life structure that serves your present and future needs. It's about finding a healthy balance between nurturing existing bonds and creating space for independence, personal growth, and diversification of your social world. Your retirement is a time for your flourishing, and that sometimes requires intentionally curating your social commitments. The wonderful news is that you have the freedom and the wisdom in retirement to make these adjustments. You are not beholden to old patterns. You have the power to design a retired life that feels truly balanced, vibrant, and fulfilling. It's about adding layers to your life, not just repeating the old chapters. Embracing this perspective empowers you to create a retirement that is rich not only in cherished friendships, but also in personal meaning, independent strength, and exciting new possibilities. So, I encourage you to reflect. Which of these 5 points resonates most strongly with you? Are you recognizing any of these potential hurts in your own retirement social life? What is one small step you can take this week to create a bit more balance? Perhaps scheduling time for a solo hobby, blocking out exercise time before social invites, or planning to attend an event where you might meet someone new. Thank you so much for joining me for this important conversation. If this video gave you a new perspective or inspired you to think about your retirement social life differently, please give it a like. It helps me know this content is valuable. Subscribe to the channel for more insights on navigating retirement with purpose and well-being. Share this video with friends who might also find it helpful. And please, leave a comment below. What's one thing for yourself you will make time for this week that isn't a visit with existing friends? Your experiences and commitments can inspire others. I truly appreciate your engagement. See you in the next video.